Don't bogart that joint, my friend. Pass it over to me. Does that sound good? Well, what a great audience you guys are. Thanks so much, everybody. I'm just going to play one song for you here. It's off my favorite Bob Dylan's album. It's called From Blood on the Tracks. It's a twisted, sordid tale of treachery with a wide cast of characters worthy of the silver screen. It's called Rosemary, Lily, and the Jack of Hearts. Here we go. The festival was over. The boys were planning for a ball. The cabaret was quiet, except for drilling in the wall. The curfew had been lifted, the gambling wheel shut down. Anyone with any sense had already left town. And he was standing in the doorway, looking like a jack of hearts. He moved across the mirrored room, set it up for everyone, he said. Then everyone commenced to doing what they were doing before he turned their heads. Then he walked up to a stranger and asked him with a grin, "Could you time to tell me, friend, what time the show begins?" And he's moving in the corner, face down like a jack of hearts. Backstage, the girls were playing five-sided cards behind the stands. Lily had two queens, she was hoping for a third to match her pair. Outside the streets were filling up, Armstrong and down, and the tumbleweeds was flowing, you could feel it from inside. And Lily called another bet and drew the jack of hearts. Big Jim was no one's fool, he owned the town's only diamond mine. He made his usual entrance, looking so dandy and so fine. With his bodyguards and silver cane and hair in every place, he took whatever he wanted to and laid the rest to waste. But his bodyguards and silver cane were no match for the jack of hearts. Rosemary combed her hair and took the carriage into town. She slipped in through the side door looking like the queen without a crown. She fluttered false eyelashes and whispered in his ear, "Sorry darling that I'm late," but he didn't seem to hear. He was staring into space over by the jack of hearts. I know I've seen that face before. Big Jim was thinking to himself, maybe in Mexico or a picture on somebody's shelf. Then the crowd turned sun and the house lights did dim, and in the darkness of the room there was only Big Jim and him, staring at the butterfly who just drew the jack of hearts. Here's Lily. Lily was a princess, she was fair-skinned and pretty as a child. She did whatever she wanted to, she had that certain thing every time she smiled. She'd come away from a broken home, had lots of strange affairs, a men of every walk of life which took her everywhere, but she never met anyone quite like the jack of hearts. The hanging judge came in unannounced and drilling in the wall kept up, but no one seemed to pay it any mind. It was known around town that Lily had Jim's ring, and nothing would ever come between Lily and the king. No, nothing ever would, except maybe the Jack of Hearts. Rosemary started drinking hard and seeing her reflection in the night. She was tired of all the attention, tired of playing the role of Big Jim's wife. She had done a lot of bad things, even once tried suicide, and nothing else was everything before she died. She was gazing in the future, riding on the Jack of Hearts. Lily washed her face, took her dress off, and buried it away. As your luck ran out, she laughed at him. Well, I guess it must have known it would someday. Be careful not to touch the wall, there's a brand new coat of paint. I'm glad to see you're still alive, you're looking like a saint. Down the hallway footsteps were coming for the Jack of Hearts. The backstage manager was pacing all around his chair. There's something funny going on, he said. I can just feel it in the air. Well, he went to get the hanging judge, but the hanging judge was drunk, and the leading actor hurried by in the costume of a monk. There was no actor better than the Jack of Hearts. Lily's arms were locked around the man that she dearly loved to touch. She forgot about the man she couldn't stand, who hounded her so much. I missed her so, she said to him, and he felt it was sincere. But just beyond the thorn, he felt the jealousy and fear. Just another night in the life of the Jack of Hearts. No one knew the circumstances, but they say it happened pretty quick. The door to the dressing room was open and the cold revolver clicked. And Big Jim was standing there, you couldn't say surprise. Rosemary right beside him and steady in her eyes. She was with Big Jim, but she was leaning to the Jack of Hearts. 2 days down, the boys finally made it through the vault and cleaned out the bank safe. They said they made off with quite a haul. In the darkness by the riverside, they waited on the ground for one who had business back in town, but they couldn't go no further without the Jack of Hearts. Next day was hanging day, the sky was overcast and black. Big Jim lay covered up, killed by a penknife in the back. And Rosemary on the gallows didn't even blink. The hanging judge was sober, he hadn't had a drink, and the only person on the scene missing was the Jack of Hearts. The cabaret is empty now, a sign said closed for repair. Lily had already taken all of the dye out of her hair. She was thinking about her father, who she'd rarely saw. She was thinking about Rosemary and thinking about the law, but was thinking about the Jack of Hearts. The Jack of Hearts.
Yeah!
Thanks, everybody.
One more! Encore!
This is the Talkin Bear Mountain Picnic Massacre Blues from 1962. Well, I saw it advertised one day that the Bear Mountain Picnic was coming my way. Come along and take a trip. We'll bring you up there on a ship. Bring the wife and the family. Bring the whole kids. Yippee! Well, I'll run right down and buy a ticket to this thing they call the Bear Mountain Picnic. Little did I realize it's in for a pleasant and funny surprise. Had nothing to do with picnics. Didn't come close to a mountain. I hate bears. I took the wife and kids down to the pier. There was 6,000 people standing there. Everybody had a ticket for the trip, and I said, oh well, it's a pretty big ship. Besides, anyhow, the more the merrier. Well, we all got on, and what do you think? That big old boat, it started to sink. More people kept on piling on, and that old ship was going down. Funny way to start a picnic, I guess. Well, I soon lost track of my kids and my wife. So many people I never saw in my life. That old ship was going down in the water, and there was 6,000 people trying to kill each other. Dogs are barking, cats are screaming, women are yelling, men are flying, fists are flying, paper flying, cops are cutting, me a running. Maybe we better just call off the picnic. I got shoved down, got pushed around. All I remember was a moaning sound. Don't remember a thing more, just remember waking up on the shore. My arms and legs were broken, my feet were splintered, my head was cracked, couldn't walk, talk, smell, feel, couldn't see, didn't know where I was bald. Quite lucky to be alive though. Well, feeling like I just climbed out of my casket, I grabbed back hold of my picnic basket, took the wife and the kids, and started home wishing I'd never got up that morning. Now I don't care just what you do. If you want to have a picnic, that's up to you. Don't tell me about it, I don't want to hear it. Cause see, I lost all my picnic spirit. Stay in my kitchen. Have a picnic in my bathroom. Well, it don't seem to me so funny what some people are gonna do for money. There's a brand new gimmick every day trying to take people's money away. I think we ought to take some of these people, put them on a boat and send them up to Bear Mountain for a picnic. God said to Abraham, kill me his son. Abe said, man, you must be putting me on. But God said no. Abe said what? But God said you can do what you want, Abe, but next time you see me coming, you'd better run. Abe said, where do you want this killing done? God said, out on Highway 61. Well, Georgia Sam, he had a bloody nose, a weapon to fight but wouldn't give no clues. He asked poor Howard, where can I go? Howard said, there's only one place I know. Well, Sam said, tell me quick, man, I got to run. Old Howard just pointed with his gun and said, that way down on Highway 61. Well, Mac Finger said to Louis the King, I got 40 white and blue shoestrings and 1,000 telephones that don't ring. You know where I can get rid of these things? And Louis King said, let me think for a minute, son. Yes, I think it can be easily done. Just take everything down on Highway 61. Now fifth daughter on the 12th night, I told the first father that things weren't right. My complexion said as much too white. Said, come on, here, step into the light. He said, you're right, let me tell the second mother this has been done. But the second mother was with the seventh son. They were both on Highway 61. Now the roving gambler, he was very bored. He was trying to create the next world war. He found a promoter, nearly fell off the floor. He said, I never engaged with this kind of thing before, but yes, I think it can be easily done. We'll just put some bleachers out in the sun and have it out on Highway 61. Another lifetime, one of toil and blood. Blackness was a virtue and the road was full of mud. I came in from the wilderness, a creature void of form. Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. And if I pass this way again, you can rest assured I always do my best for her, and that I give my word. In a world of steel-eyed death and men who are fighting to be warm. Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. Not a word was spoke between us, there was little risk involved. Everything up to that point had been left unresolved. Try imagining a place where it's always safe and warm. Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. I was burned out from exhaustion, buried in the hail, poisoned in the bushes and blown out on the trail. Hunted like a crocodile, ravaged in the corn. Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. Suddenly I turned around and she was standing there, with silver bracelets on her wrists and flowers in her hair. She walked up to me so gracefully and took my crown of thorns. Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. Now there's a wall between us, something has been lost. I took too much for granted, got my signals crossed. Just to think it all began on an uneventful morn. Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. Well, the deputy walks on hard nails and the preacher rides him out. Nothing really matters much, it's doom alone that counts. As the one-night undertaker, he blows a funeral horn. Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. I've heard newborn babies wailing like morning dove, an old man with broken teeth stranded without love. Do I understand your question, man? Is it hopeless and forlorn? Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. In a little hilltop village, I gambled for my clothes, begging for salvation, and she gave me a lethal dose. I burned up my innocence and I got paid with scorn. Come in, said I'll give you shelter from the storm. Well, I'm living in a foreign country, but I'm bound to cross the line. Beauty walks a razor's edge, and they all make it mine. If only I could turn back the clock to when God and her were born. Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. From 1963, here's 7 Curses. Old Riley stole a stallion. They caught him, they brought him back, and they laid him down on the jailhouse ground with an iron chain round his neck. Old Riley's daughter got the message that her father was going to hang. She rode by night and came by morning with gold and silver in her hand. When the judge saw Riley's daughter, his old eyes gleaming in his head, saying gold will never free your father. The price, my dear, is you instead. Oh, I'm as good as dead, cried Riley. It's only you he does scream, and my skin will surely crawl if it touches you at all. Get on your horse and ride away. Oh, father, you will surely die if I don't take the chance and try and pay the price and not take your advice without reason. I have to stay. The gallows shadow shook that evening. In the night, a hound dog bayed. In the night, the grounds were groaning. In the night, the price was paid. The next morning, she had awoken to find the judge had never spoken. She saw the hanging branch abandoned. She saw her father's body broken. These be 7 curses on a judge so cruel that one doctor will not save him, that 2 healers will not heal him, that 3 eyes will not see him, that 4 ears will not hear him, that 5 walls will not hide him, that 6 daggers will not bury him, that 7 deaths shall never kill him. I've been a moonshiner for 17 long years. I've spent all my money on whiskey and beer. I go down to some hollow and set up my still. If whiskey don't kill me, I don't know what will. I'll go to some bar room and drink with my friends, where the women can follow and see what I spend. God bless them Their breath is as sweet as the dew on the vine. Let me, when I'm hungry, let me drink when I'm dry. $1 when I'm hard up. Religion when I die. The whole world is a bottle and life is but a dram. When a bottle gets empty, it sure ain't worth the damn. I've been a moonshiner. Here's a pair of songs by Malvina Reynolds, then Harry McClintock. Little boxes on the hillside, little boxes full of ticky-tacky, little boxes on the hillside, little boxes all the same. There's a green one and a pink one and a blue one and a yellow one. They're all made out of ticky-tacky and they all look just the same. And the people in the houses all went to university where they were put in boxes and they all came out the same. And there's doctors and lawyers and business executives and they're all made out of ticky-tacky and they all look just the same. And they all play on the golf course and they drink their martinis dry and they all have pretty children and the children go to school and the children go to summer camp and then to the university where they are put in boxes and they all came out the same. There's a green one and a pink one and a blue one and a yellow one and they're all made out of ticky-tacky and they all look just the same. One evening as the sun went down and the jungle fire was burning, and down the track came a hobo hike and he said, boys, I'm not turning. I'm headed for the land that's far away beside the crystal fountain, so come with me to the Big Rock Candy Mountain. In the Big Rock Candy Mountains, there's a land that's fair and bright, where the boxcars all are empty and the sun shines every day. All the birds and the bees and the cigarette trees, the lemonade springs where the bluebird sings on the Big Rock Candy Mountain. In the Big Rock Candy Mountains, the crops have wooden legs, and the bulldogs all have rubber teeth, and the hens lay hard-boiled eggs, and the farmers' trees are full of fruit, and the barns are full of hay. Oh, I'm bound to go where there ain't no snow, where the rain don't fall and the wind don't blow, on the Big Rock Candy Mountain. In the Big Rock Candy Mountains, you never change your socks, and the little streams of alcohol come trickling down the rocks, and the brakemen all have to tip their hats, and the railroad bulls are blind. There's a lake of stew and whiskey too. You can paddle all around them in a big canoe on the Big Rock Candy Mountain. In the Big Rock Candy Mountains, the jails are made of tin, and you can walk right out again as soon as you are in. There ain't no short-handed shovels, no axes, saws, or picks. I'm headed for the land that's far away beside the crystal fountain, so come with me. The birds and the bees and the cigarette trees, the lemonade springs where the bluebird sings. Oh, I'm bound to go where there ain't no snow, where the rain don't fall out and the windows low. There's a lake of stew and whiskey too. You can paddle all around them in a big canoe. And I'm going to stay where you sleep all day, where they hung the jerk who invented work on the Big Rock Canyon Mountain. This is Dylan's contribution to the Traveling Wilburys. Tweeter and the Monkeyman were hard up for cash. They stayed up all night selling cocaine and hash to an undercover cop who had a sister named Jan. For reasons unexplained, she loved the Monkeyman. Tweeter was a Boy Scout before she went to Vietnam and found out the hard way that no one gives a damn. They knew they'd find freedom just across the Jersey line, so they hopped into a stolen car, took Highway 99, and the walls came down all the way to hell. Never saw them when they stand and never saw them when they fell. The undercover cop, he never liked the Monkeyman. Even back in childhood, he wanted to see him in the can. Jan got married at 14 to a racketeer named Bill. She made secret calls to the Monkeyman from a mansion on the hill. He was out on Thunder Road, a tweeter at the wheel. They crashed into paradise, you could hear those tires squeal. The undercover cop pulled up and said, every one of you is a liar. If you don't surrender now, it's gonna go down to the wire. And the walls came down all the way to hell. Never saw them when they stand and never saw them when they fell. An ambulance rolled up, a state trooper close behind. A tweeter took his gun away and messed up his mind. The undercover cop was left tied to a tree near the souvenir stand by the old abandoned factory. Next day the undercover cop was hot in pursuit. He was taking the whole thing personal now and he didn't care about the loot. Jan had told him many times it was you to me who tied. In Jersey anything's legal as long as you don't get caught. And the walls came down all the way to hell. Never saw them when they stand and never saw them when they fell. Someplace by Ranway Prison, they ran out of gas. The undercover cop cornered them and said, you wouldn't think this could last. Jen jumped out of bed, said, there's someplace I gotta go. She took a gun out of the drawer, said, it's best that you don't know. The undercover cop was found face down in a field. The Monkeyman was on the river bridge using tweeter as a shield. Jan said to the Monkeyman, I'm not fooled by Tweeter's curl. I knew him long before he ever became a Jersey girl. And the walls came down all the way to hell. Never saw them when they stand and never saw them when they fell. Now the town of Jersey City is quieting down again, and I'm sitting in a gambling club called the Lion's Den. The TV set was blown up, every bit of it was gone. Ever since that nightly news showed that the Monkeyman was on. I guess I'll go to Florida and get myself some sun. There ain't no opportunity here, everything's been done. Sometimes I think of Tweeter, sometimes I think of Jan, sometimes I don't think of nothing but the Monkeyman. I ain't gonna work on Maggie's farm no more. I ain't gonna work for Maggie's farm no more. Well, I wake up every morning, hold my hands brain. I got a head full of ideas and they're driving me insane. It's a shame the way she makes me scrub the floor. I ain't gonna work on Maggie's farm no more. I ain't gonna work on Maggie's brother no more. I ain't gonna work for Maggie's brother no more. He hands you a nickel, he hands you a dime, and he asks you with a grin if you're having a good time. Then he finds you every time you slam the door. I ain't gonna work for Maggie's brother no more. I ain't gonna work for Maggie's pa no more. I ain't gonna work for Maggie's pa no more. Well, he puts his cigars out on your face just for kicks. His bedroom window is made out of bricks, and the National Guard stands around his door. I ain't gonna work for Maggie's pa no more. I ain't gonna work for Maggie's ma no more. I ain't gonna work for Maggie's ma no more. Well, she talks to all the servants about man and God and law, and everybody's saying she's the brains behind power. She's 68, but she says she's 54. I ain't gonna work for Maggie's ma no more. Well, I ain't gonna work on Maggie's pa no more. I ain't gonna work on Maggie's pa no more. Well, I try my best to be just who I am, but everybody wants you to be just like them. They say sing while you slave, and I just get bored. I ain't gonna work on Maggie's farm no more. Here's what he did with the band. Oh, the streets of Rome are filled with rubble. Ancient footprints are everywhere. You can almost think that you're seeing double on a cold, dark night on the Spanish stairs. Gotta hurry on back to my hotel room, where I got me a date with Botticelli's niece. She promised me she'd be rare with me when I paint my masterpiece. All the hours that I spent inside the Coliseum, dodging lions and wasting time. Oh, those mighty kings of the jungle, I could hardly stand to see them. It sure has been a long, hard ride. Train wheels running through the back of my memories, when I ran on the hilltop following a pack of wild geese. Someday everything's gonna be smooth like a rhapsody when I paint my masterpiece. Surfing down the world in a dirty gondola. Oh, to be back in the land of Coca-Cola. I left Rome and landed in Brussels. on a plane ride so bumpy that I almost died. Hooded man in uniform and young girls pulling muscles. Everyone was there to greet me when I arrived. Newspaper men eating candy had to be held down by big police. Someday everything's gonna be different when I paint my masterpiece. When I paint my masterpiece. Last Great American Whale by Lou Reed from his concept album New York. They say he didn't have an enemy. His was greatness to behold. He was the last surviving progeny, the last one on this side of the world. He measured half a mile from tip to tail, silverback and powerful fins. They say he could split a mountain in two, and that's how we got the Grand Canyon. Last great American whale. Last great American whale. Some say they saw him in the Great Lakes. Some say they saw him off Florida. My mother said she saw him in Chinatown, but you can't always trust your mother. Off the Carolinas, the sun shines brightly in the day. The lighthouse goes ghostly at night. The chief of a local tribe had killed a racist mayor's son, and he'd been on death row since 1958. The mayor's kid was a rowdy pig, spit on the indigenous and lots worse. The old chief buried a hatchet in his head. Life compared to death for him seemed worse. The tribal brothers gathered in the lighthouse to sing and tried to conjure up a storm of rain. The harbor parted, a great whale sprang forth and caused a huge tidal wave. The wave crushed the jail and freed the chief. The tribe let out a roar. The whites were drowned, the browns and reds were set free. But sadly, one thing more. Some local yokel member of the NRA kept a bazooka in his living room. And thinking he had the chief in his sights, blew the whale's brains out with a lead harpoon. Last great American whale. Last great American whale. Well, Americans don't care much for anything, land and water the least. And animal life is low on the totem pole, and human life not worth more than infected yeast. Americans don't care much for beauty. They'll shit in a river, dump battery acid in a stream. They'll watch dead rats wash up on the shore and complain if they can't swim. They say things are done for the majority. Don't believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. It's like my friend Donald said to me, stick a fork in their ass and turn them over, they're done. Buckets of rain, buckets of tears, got all them buckets coming out of my ears. buckets of moonbeams in my hand. I got all the love, honey, baby, you can stand. I've been meek, I've been hard like an oak. I've seen pretty people disappear like smoke. Friends will arrive, friends will disappear. If you want me, honey, baby, I'll be here. I like your smile and your fingertips. I like the way that you move your lips. I like the cool way you look at me. Everything about you is bringing me misery. I've seen love come by my door. Never been this close before. Never been so easy or so slow. I've been shooting in the dark too long with something's not right, it's wrong. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go. Dragging clouds so high above, I've only known careless love. It always has hit me from below. But this time round it's more correct. Right on target, so direct. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go. Purple clover, Queen Anne's lace, hair across your face. You can make me cry, but you don't know. Can't remember what I was thinking of. Your mind is one with too much love. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go. I was on the hillside going crazy, just talking back and forth in rhyme. We were running slow and lazy. I could stay with you forever and never realize the time. Well, situations have ended sad, relationships have all been bad. Mine have been like flames and remote. There's no way I can compare all those scenes that disappear. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go. You'll make me wonder what I'm doing. Behind without you. You're gonna make me wonder what I'm saying. You're gonna make me give myself a good talking to. Well, I look for you in old Honolulu, San Francisco, and Ashtabula. You're gonna have to leave me now, I know. But I see you in the sky above the tall grass and the ones I love. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go. If you're traveling in the North Country Fair, the wind set heavy on the borderline, remember me to one who lives there. She once was a true love of mine. See for me, her hair's hanging down, curls and falls all down her breast. See for me that her hair's hanging down. That's the way I remember her best. If you go where the snowflakes storm, where the rivers freeze and summer ends, please see if she's wearing a coat so warm. Keep her from the howling winds. I'm wondering if she remembers me at all. Oftentimes I often pray in the darkness of my night, in the brightness of my day. If you're traveling in the North Country Fair, meet me in the morning. If 56 and Wabasha. Baby in the morning, 56 and Wabasha. Honey, we could be in Kansas by the time snow begins to thaw. Say the darkest hour is right before the dawn. They say the darkest hour is right before the dawn. But you know about me, baby, everything's been darkness since you've been gone. Little rooster crowing, must be something on his mind. Little rooster crowing, must be something on his mind. Well, I feel just like that rooster. Honey, you treat me so unkind. Well, I struggled through barbed wire, felt the hell far from above. Well, I struggled through barbed wire, felt the hell far from above. Well, you know, I even run the hound dogs. Honey, you've earned your love. Well, look at the sun sinking like a ship. Well, look at the sun, baby, sinking just like a ship. Ain't that just like my heart, babe, when you kissed my lips? Got a lot of nerve to say you are my friend. When I was down there, you just stood there grinning. You've got a lot of nerve to say you've got a helping hand. You just wanna be on the side that's winning. You say I let you down, but you know it's not like that. If you're so hurt, then why don't you just show it? You say you lost your faith, but that's not where it's at. You had no faith to lose, and you know it. I know the reason that you talk behind my back. I used to be among the crowd you're in with. Do you you take me for such a fool to think I'd make contact with one who tries to hide what he don't know to begin with? You see me on the street and you always act surprised. You say, how are you, good luck, but you don't mean it. When you know just as well as me you'd rather see me paralyzed. Why don't you just come right out and screaming? No, I do not feel that good when I see the heartbreak you embrace. If I was a master thief, perhaps I'd rob them. And now I know you're dissatisfied with your position and your place. Don't you understand? It's not my problem. I wish for just one time you could stand inside my shoes. And just for that one moment I could be you. Yes, I wish for just one time you could stand inside my shoes. You would know what a drag it is to see you. That was positively 4th Street. I married Isis on the 5th day of May, but I could not hold on to her for very long. So I cut off my hair and I rode straight away for the wild unknown country where I could not go wrong. I came to a high place of darkness and light. Dividing line ran through the center of town. I hitched up my pony to a post on the right. Went into a laundry to wash my clothes down. A man in the corner approached me for a match. I knew right away he was not ordinary. He said, are you looking for something easy to catch? I said, I ain't got no money. He said, that ain't necessary. We set out that night for the cold in the north. I gave him my blanket, he gave me his word. I said, where we going? Said, we'll be back by the 4th. I said, that's the best news that I ever did hear. I was thinking about turquoise, I was thinking about gold. I was thinking about diamonds and the world's biggest necklace as we rode through the canyons, through the devilish cold. I was thinking about Isis and how she thought I was so reckless. How she told me that one day we would meet up again and things would be different the next time we went. If only I could hang on to her and just be her friend. I still can't remember all the best things she said. We came to the pyramids all bedded in ice. They said there's a body that I'm trying to find. If I carry it out, it'll bring a good price. It was then that I knew what he had on his mind. The wind, it was howling, and the snow was outrageous. We chopped through the night, and we chopped through the cold. When he died, I was hoping it wasn't contagious, but I made up my mind that I had to go on. Into the tomb, but the casket was empty. No jewels, no nothing. I felt I'd been had. When I saw that my partner was just being friendly, when I took up his offer, I must have been mad. I picked up his body and I dragged him inside. I threw him down in the hole and I put back the cover. I said a quick prayer and I self-satisfied. Then I rode back to ISIS. Tell her I loved her. She was there in the meadow where the creek used to rise, blinded by sleep and in need of a bed. I came in from the east with the sun in my eyes. I cursed her one time and then I rode on ahead. Said, where you been? I said, no place special. She said, you look different. I said, well, I guess. She said, you been gone. I said, that's only natural. She said, ain't gonna stay if you want me to, yeah. Isis, oh Isis, you mystical child. What drives me to you is what drives me insane. I still can't remember that way that you smiled on the 5th day of May in the drizzling rain.